This growing skepticism planted the seeds for future religious reforms, like the Protestant Reformation over a century later. The Black Death also left its mark on art and culture. One of the most striking examples is the Danse Macabre, or Dance of Death. This was a popular theme in art and literature that depicted skeletons leading people from all walks of life, kings, peasants, priests, to their graves. It was a reminder that death was the great equalizer, coming for everyone, regardless of status. This morbid fascination with death reflected the trauma of the plague and how it reshaped people's worldview. Literature, too, began to explore themes of mortality, suffering, and the fragility of life. The Black Death didn't just change how people lived. It changed how they thought, created, and expressed themselves. After the devastation of the Black Death, England faced the monumental task of rebuilding. With so many lives lost, the country had to adapt quickly. Abandoned villages were repopulated, though some were left as eerie reminders of the past. Fields that had lain fallow were slowly brought back to life, and trade routes began to reopen. But this wasn't just a return to the old ways. It was the start of something new. The sheer scale of the loss forced England to rethink how its society and economy functioned. One of the most significant changes was the decline of feudalism. Before the plague, peasants were tied to the land, working for lords in exchange for protection. But with so few workers left, peasants suddenly had bargaining power. They demanded higher wages and better conditions, and many lords had no choice but to agree. This shift weakened the feudal system and gave rise to a more fluid social structure. Serfdom began to disappear, and a new class of free laborers emerged. It was the beginning of a more modern, market-driven economy. Believe it or not, the Black Death also sparked some positive changes. With fewer people to work the land, there was a push for innovation in agriculture. Farmers began experimenting with new techniques and tools to make their work more efficient. The labor shortage also led to the rise of skilled trades, as people sought specialized work that paid better. And culturally, the trauma of the plague inspired a wave of creativity. Art, literature, and even architecture began to reflect a deeper understanding of human mortality and resilience. In a strange way, the Black Death forced England to evolve, laying the groundwork for the Renaissance and the modern world. So let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned.